Good morning. Good morning. I hope you are all having a fantastic week thus far. I am Kim Allen, and I'm a habit transformation coach, and my company is Power to Heal. What do I do? Well, I help people uncover unhealthy habits of thinking, things that are keeping them stuck, habits that are sabotaging their dreams, their goals, their relationships. And I help them shift those habits so that they can create thoughts that then support their dreams, their goals, build stronger relationships so that they can live with more joy and more fulfillment. And so I am here today to talk about leadership of self. And what is leadership of self? Well, we live in a world, and a lot of us have grown up in environments where there's a lot of things going on, a lot of negative experiences. There's a lot of strong opinions, and in all honesty, there's a lot of strong opinions and a lot of things going on right now that are super emotional. And so it's even more important that we take a step back and really own where we are coming from. We own the words we say, we own how we show up. Now, growing up in an abusive home like I did, I grew up blaming a lot of the things that happened in life for how I showed up as a human being. And don't get me wrong, I've always had a big heart. However, I blamed a lot of circumstances, a lot of experiences on my lack of the success I had in more my personal life than my professional life. And who knows where my professional life, what it would have looked like had I had a different mindset earlier on. But placing blame on events, circumstances, experiences on why we can't have what we want now and what we want in the future, well, that's exactly it. It's blame. And it's staying in a place of victim mentality rather than I'm going to harness this and I'm going to make what I want in my life come to fruition. So I heard this story yesterday morning. And if you listen to Darren Hardy, he has these daily tips. And this was just a story that it was like an aha moment for me in regards to our need to be right. Because our need to be right, it destroys our relationships. It crushes the people that we interact with. So I'm going to tell you this story, and I'm just going to switch it up a little bit because it's pretty straight up and in your face the way he tells it. And I'm just going to tell it a little bit differently. But there is this donkey who sees the grass and he says it's blue. And then his buddy, who is, let's just say, a horse, sees the grass and says, no, the grass is green. It is not blue, you silly. It is green. The donkey says, no, it is blue. How could you call it blue when it's clearly green? So they take this up with the lion, who is the leader of this community or pack or whatever you want to call it. And the lion asks the donkey, what color is the grass? The donkey says, it's blue. And he says, well, then it shall be blue. If you see it as blue, then it is blue. And then he goes to the horse and says, the donkey thinks it's blue. And the horse says, but it's green. We both know it's green. And he punishes the horse for 3 days. Well, why am I being punished when the grass is green. And the moral of the story was, you're not going to change that person's mind. The horse isn't going to change the donkey's mind. If he sees it as blue and you see it as green, you are not going to change their mind by telling him it's green. So I'm punishing you for 3 days, whatever he had to do, because you are wasting my time with something that is unreasonable. So now let's look at that in the context of our relationships and the need to be right. In our relationships, and I'm going to look at this in the sense of a significant other, okay, because this is who we interact with every day, or it could be with somebody that you work with, but somebody that you interact with regularly. When we have a need to be right, and we are unwilling to listen and hear what the other person's perspective is, and we want to just keep cramming in what we think is right, we're doing a couple of things. We are not listening to the person that we're communicating with. We are not respecting that person for their opinions. We are not valuing that person for their opinions. We are basically nullifying them and saying, I don't care what you think. This is how I think, and this is the right way. Well, I think we've probably all experienced a situation like that, whether we are the person who has the need to be right, or the other person has the need to be right. When you are the receiver of that type of, I need to be right, you're going to listen to me, this is just the way it is, how do you feel? What goes through your mind? It's like, this person is, lack of a better word, this person's an idiot. Like, what I think doesn't matter? Well, I don't think that we do that most of the time on purpose. I think it's how we've been taught to communicate, right? And when you hear that being said, obviously that's not effective communication. And we hear that all the time. You need to communicate. You need to communicate. Well, communicating isn't just saying what's on your mind. Communicating is being present. Communicating is honoring the person that is in front of you. That you release what all your thoughts are and you truly stand in that moment and you listen to what that other person has to say and acknowledge. There's a lot of things going on right now. A lot of things are going on right now. And we are screaming at each other. It's one way or the other. When in a perfect world, which I don't have the answer for this, I can only speak to this on an individual level in my communication with other people. If I go to speak with someone who has a completely different thought process than me, and I am not willing to hear what they have to say, the conversation's not going to go well. But I can have a conversation with someone and say, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about why you think that way or you believe that way. Because I really want to know. I want to understand. And at the end of this conversation, it doesn't mean that I'm going to agree, but maybe I will have learned something new. Something that I never considered before. Because if you go into a conversation with, I want to listen to understand, I'm going to drop my need to be right. I want to listen to understand because maybe just maybe, there might be something new that I learn here. Or maybe, just maybe, it will help me understand that person a little bit more. How can I support this person? A lot of our emotions, a lot of our feelings that bubble up, especially in times like this, come out of fear. The unknown. That's scary stuff. And if we can understand that, can we help support them? Can we help them ease that, come into the present? Because the fear is about the future and the what if. But what about right now? What is all of this anger? What is that bringing us right now except complete dis-ease in our bodies? Complete anger, complete frustration. And when we operate from a place of anger and frustration and heightened emotions, we are not thinking logically. We are not thinking at our best. And I know that most people come from a place of good. No matter what your belief system is, you marry your spouse or you get in a committed relationship because there's something about this person that you love, that you just adore. And somewhere along the way, we kind of get a little distant. And all of a sudden, this person doesn't look so appealing anymore. But maybe it's because we haven't been really listening to understand. Maybe we've been missing what's important because we've been so caught up in our own self, in our own need to be right. And from my own experience, when I learned to listen and to really value Mike, he's my husband, when I learned to listen and really value what he has to say and how he's feeling, sometimes it's just to listen. A lot of times it's just to listen. I don't need to say anything. I'm not here to fix it. Sometimes I just need to listen. And sometimes when I understand more, I can contribute more to helping him solve whatever it is that he's working through. And the same for me. So my message today is leadership of self. When we are feeling heightened levels of emotion, that is the trigger and the awareness to pause, to breathe, to be curious. How does that other person feel? What are they thinking? I want to understand. I want to be curious. And then when appropriate, respond. Because when we react, that's coming from a place of emotion. And that's generally not the place that is going to be the most effective in your communication with the people that you care most about. All right. So when you're feeling a little bit of heightened emotion in a conversation with someone, pause, breathe, reflect what it is that you're feeling, and then respond appropriately. And that might even mean I need to take a step back and can we come back to this later? Because right now is not going to be the time when I'm going to respond. So, responsibility of self. All right. So, before I close, I do want to invite you to, I have a group coaching session that is starting on July 27th. It is a 6-month course to prepare you for 2023. Let's uncover the habits of thinking that are not serving you, that are keeping you stuck, that are keeping you from living with joy and fulfillment and achieving your goals. What are the goals you want? What are the dreams you want for 2023? Because before we know it, it's going to be here. And I don't know about you, but I spent many, many years saying, if only I would have done it then. So if I knew what I knew, if I knew then what I knew now, where would I be? So it starts July 27th. I invite you to check out the page. There's more information about it. There's a link here. And then also on the page, there's links to book a call with me and take your habits of thinking assessment. So I will see you tomorrow. Have an amazing day.